Hello, welcome. This video is on radioactivity. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the types of radioactivities. Secondly, I'm going to talk about the activity of a radioactive sample, going through all the necessary calculations. Thirdly, I'm going to talk about the half-life of a radioactive sample, going through the process of deriving the formula. Then, I'm going to solve some exercises for better understanding. And finally, I'm going to talk about some applications of radioactivities. Let's get started. Radioactivity is a spontaneous and random disintegration or decay of an unstable nucleus of low binding energy to form a more stable nucleus of a higher binding energy. In the process, energy is released due to mass defect. This energy is released in the form of nuclear radiations, for example, alpha and beta particles, and the energy can be gotten from Einstein mass energy equivalent equation as shown. Radioactivity is a spontaneous process because it occurs on its own. That is, it is not controlled or affected by external factors, be it physical or chemical. Radioactivity is a random process because it is unpredictable. That is, it is impossible to pinpoint the next nuclear decay. Radioactivity is not a chemical process but a nuclear process since it does not involve the orbital electrons. There exist three types of radioactivity. 1. Natural radioactivity. It is a spontaneous and random decay of an unstable nucleus on its own by nature. For example, uranium-238 or thorium. 2. Artificial radioactivity or induced radioactivity. It is a spontaneous and random decay of an unstable nucleus which has been formed or which has become radioactive because of the bombardment of fast-moving particles. For example, bombarding uranium-235 with neutrons is as shown. The process produces barium-144 and krypton plus 3 extra neutrons with the energy change. 3. Background radioactivity. It is a constant decay of unstable isotopes in the Earth crust or in our surrounding. Therefore, background radiations are low-level radiations from the environment recorded by a counter from unknown sources. The possible sources could be cosmic radiations from outer space, carbon-14 found in plants or in air, rocks or bricks in the earth which contains traces of radioactive substances. The activity of a radioactive sample is the number of its disintegrations per unit time. If n radioactive atoms are remaining in the source at time t, then the rate of decay or activity of the source A is given by the equation A equals to negative dn on dt. The negative sign indicates that the number of radioactive atoms are decreasing as time is increasing. The unit of radioactivity is the becquerel, where 1 becquerel equals to 1 disintegration per second. Note, the rate of disintegration or activity of a radioactive sample is determined by the number of radioactive atoms remaining in the source. That is, we have A is directly proportional to n and A is equals to lambda n. That implies negative dn dt is directly proportional to n and negative dn dt is equals to lambda n, which we have negative dn divided by n is equals to lambda t. We integrate both sides, integrating the left hand side from n0 to n and the right hand side from 0 to t. The integral of dn on n is equals to ln n and the right hand side is equals to negative lambda t, which implies that ln n on n0 is equals to negative lambda t. Putting both sides to the power e, we have n divided by n0, which is equals to e to the negative lambda t. And hence we have n equals to n0 e to the power negative lambda t, which is the decay law. So the activity A is equals to negative dn on dt, but n is equals to n0 e to the negative lambda t. That implies that A is equal to the derivative of n0 e to the negative lambda t, which is equals to lambda n, and that implies that the activity is equals to lambda n, from where a0 is equals to lambda n0 and the activity is equals to a0 e to the negative lambda t. We have the following as a graph of activity against time, where a is equals to a0 e to the negative lambda t, and the area under the graph of a against t is equal to the number of particles in the source. The half-life of a radioactive sample is the time taken for the number of radioactive isotopes or the activity at a given moment in the sample to reduce to half of its original value. It is a constant for a particular radioactive element. For example, 4.5 times 10 to the 9 years for uranium-238. So we know that n is equals to n0 e to the negative lambda times t. Let t half, that is half-life, be the t in red. At t equals to half-life, n is equals to n0 divided by 2. That implies we have n0 divided by 2, which is equals to n0 e to the lambda t half. Then taking ln of both sides, we have ln of 2 to the negative 1, which is equals to ln of e to the negative lambda t, and so we have the half-life, which is equals to ln 2 divided by lambda. Example, the half-life of iodine 131 is 8 days, and a radioactive sample contains 64 grams of iodine 131. Determine the mass of iodine that remains after 24 days. We can solve this using two methods. Method 1, we know that after 8 days, the amount of iodine 131 drops to half the value. So starting from 64, after 8 days, it drops to 32. After 8 days, it drops to 16. And after 8 days, it drops to 8 grams. And 8 plus 8 plus 8 is equals to 24. It means that after 24 days, the amount remaining will be 8 grams. But this method is often limited. So method 2 consists of using the formula. So we know that n is equals to n0 e to the negative lambda t. That implies that n is equals to 64 e to the negative lambda times 24. Note, we are using 24 because days is going to cancel out. Taking ln of both sides, we have ln 64 minus 24 lambda. But half-life equals to ln 2 on lambda, and that implies that lambda equals to ln 2 divided by 8. And so we have that. Note, 24 in red divides 8, meaning that days cancels out with days. And so we have ln n equals to 2.078, implying that n is equals to 8 grams, or approximately 8 grams. Radioactivity is applicable in many fields. For example, in medicine, radioisotopes are used as tracers. E.g., technetium-99m is injected in the bloodstream to detect brain cancer, internal hemorrhage, and blood clots. In agriculture, they are also used as tracers. For example, to determine the rate and the quantity of fertilizer absorbed by a plant by adding radioactive phosphate in the fertilizer. Radioactivity is also applicable in archaeology. They are used in carbon dating to determine the age of dead carbon-containing organisms by studying the carbon content of the organism at the present date and comparing with the older date.